Oh,
Good.
okay, we had about 51 going. I figure we're probably gonna have half of that, because that always happens. And I am recording now. Hello, everyone. So what we're doing right now as we get ready to go is that we're putting in the chat, choose your hard. So Courtney says, being a mom, toddler years are getting me. So maybe toddler years are hard. Raising an amazing adult is hard. Choose your hard. Right?
Sorry. You gonna let me listen to it?
Well, honey, you didn't show any.
I said okay.
I'm gonna mute everybody. So if you want to talk, make sure, I don't know if you guys know the raise hand emoji, or if you need to say something, put it in the chat, because I'm going to keep everybody muted during the presentation just so that we don't have feedback and stuff, just to make sure that the presentation goes well and everyone watching this in the replay will have a really good time. Oh, and that's a really good one. It's hard to build a business while being full-time high school math teacher, especially during a pandemic. It's also hard waiting until you retire to start building when the income is needed. Secondary income, yeah, choose your hard. Now, hard is not being able to go out. I like this one. Hard is not being able to go out, but getting COVID would be harder. Choose your hard.
That's a good one.
Hi, Monica. Hard is not seeing your family, but COVID is harder for a lot of people. Okay, we still have more people coming in, so we're just going to keep this going. I might stop record and then restart it again.
I don't know. I tried to ask him if he pulled the card show.
All right. Hi, everyone. Go ahead and hi. Say wave. Hi. I'm Marlise Ledbetter. I am an entrepreneur and business owner. I'm a presidential founder with Green Compass. But more importantly, I am here to support you guys. And one of the things that I was super excited about was finding this gentleman that is going to speak with us today, who is a business coach, who is in a networking group that I'm a part of called BNI. And we actually met on a speed networking date with a bunch of other people in our organization, where we get just a few minutes to talk with each other about our businesses and how we can help each other. And I thought, Oliver, I really like what you're saying. I would like to do a training with you. You can help my business and I can help yours. Oliver really focuses on revenue-based activities. And if you've ever thought you had a really long day of lots of tasks, but you actually didn't get anything done, you probably didn't plan very well and stick and be attentive of your actions. And so Oliver is a certified MAPS coach. He is here in Houston with me, and he is going to teach you some goal setting properties. We're going to take a review back on 2020, right? We're going to do a little review.
Yes.
We're going to make some goals for 2021 and some strategies to keep your goals intact. A lot of people will keep goals for January, maybe possibly February. It takes like 6 weeks to make a habit form, but what's more important than the habit is your desire to do so. So the desire really starts within, and then you create habits, and then your intention is fulfilled. So I want this year to be amazing and exceptional for all of us. So Oliver, I'm going to let you take it away. I'm going to stop sharing, and this year we're going to choose our hard.
All right.
Do you have control?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it right now. All right. Perfect. So thank you, Marlise. Thank you for the great introduction. And yeah, that's how we met on the BNI networking event. Those have been great, by the way. My name is Oliver Pereira. I am a business coach and also transformational trainer with MAPS Business Coaching. where our mission statement is we create sacred partnerships that require the best in us to bring out the best in them. And today's presentation, like Marlise said, will be on goal setting for 2021, which is a really very, very hot topic these days, since we're only 7 days into it. Here's my information I want to share with everyone. My phone number, also my email if you guys have any questions, or if you guys have any follow-ups after this presentation. All right, so before we get started, I just wanted to see who do we have here joining us. Your name, where you're from, maybe any business, occupation, and also like what are you looking to get out of this training? Any specific questions or anything that you're struggling in particular, and also who's looking to you as a model for how to live an impactful life or how to have an impactful business? I'll give you a minute. Let's give them a minute to.
Let's do it. 1 minute, you guys. 1 minute. Let's put your contact or your name, where you're from, and what you want to get out of this. Go, go, go. Let's go. 1 minute. I wish I had music like Rocky. Dun, 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 dun. I'm probably ruining the song. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Terrible. My husband will be like, next she's going to start whistling.
And Marlise, you can see the screen, correct?
No, I can't see your screen.
You can't. Okay. I thought it was sharing. So. Do you see it now?
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Name, where you're from, maybe what you do. What are you looking to get out of this? Cassandra is in Cyprus. Josh is from Tyler, Texas. Rissa is in West Jordan, Utah. Chrissy Murray's in Kansas City, Missouri. Angel's in Houston, Texas. Stephanie Starr, she's working to be hard on super crazy organized, which is not a strong suit. Neither is mine. We've got Michelle from Alexandria, Virginia.
Wow.
Selling plumbing by day and CBD by night. Okay. Elaine Hughes is in Eastern North Carolina. We've got Lisa from Lisa Levinson from Venice, Florida. Hi, Lisa. Lenora from the Woodlands. Hi, Lenora. Courtney from Wilmington. Mindset is one of her goals. Heather Chavez, she's here in the Woodlands area. Let's see what else we've got. Keep going. Lori is in Annapolis, Maryland. Stacy's in Lodi, California. Wow, Stacy. Janaki is with Bhakti Light. She's an empowered partnership coach.
Okay.
Heather is a realtor, lives in the Woodlands, building on 3 acres. Oh, we've got some people that need to come in the room. Oops. Okay. Angels in Magnolia. Let's see. Ann is from Minnesota. Joanne Erickson in Houston. Monica Davila in Cyprus, doing payroll and HR and CBD on the side, which could easily be your full-time job. All right. Well, you guys can continue to share your information. I'm going to try to copy everything so that you guys know who was on the group. Robert Green with Greenlight, Marilyn Brady is South Carolina, Katrin Becker, Montgomery, Texas, the wellness and essential oil engineer. She's not good at setting goals, so she wants to improve. So that is a good parlay.
Excellent.
Let's
we have
get
a lot
started.
of people.
Back to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Marlise. All right. So going forward, I just wanted to quickly, say something about MAPS Business Coaching. MAPS basically stands for Measured Accountability Processes and Systems. It was started back in 2018 by Gary Keller and Abe Shreve. Basically, they had a goal of taking everything that they learned to the business world. And if you don't know, like Gary Keller is the founder of Keller Williams, the largest real estate company in the world. And as far as our partners, we have a couple of partners. We partnered with Smith Research and Development. They provide leadership and training to the military, universities, and the government. And also we partner with The One Thing. It's a New York Times best-selling book and podcast. And also KW MAPS Coaching. This is the real estate coaching arm for KW. and also the BOLD program. All right, so, okay, so here's a little background on me, so you get to know me a little bit. I graduated with an economics and business management degree from Rice University, and I started my career in oil and gas like a good Texan. And from there, I went to commercial real estate investment sales, consulting, and valuation for the Latin American market. That pursuit ended with the market crash of 2007, and then later in 2010 for the international markets. So I really had to pivot at that point. So I pivoted to international healthcare, consulting, and business development. My healthcare career, was really great. Everything was going great until it didn't. And then that's where I learned a big lesson about goals and purpose. I was hitting all my goals, everything was great, but it wasn't aligned with my purpose. I ended up, getting a business coach and getting some clarity on my goals and also where I need to go. And that was my first time, that I had a business coach ever in my life, which was about 3 years ago. And that's where I started to be a coach. So I have a varied experience in oil and gas, commercial real estate, and also healthcare. And I do it all for my family. Here's my family. That's my big why. My daughter is 12. My middle son is 10 to the side, and the little one is 6. So let me start with the presentation now. So how do you guys feel about goal setting? Let's head to the chat box if you can, and let me know if you love goal setting. Put a 1. If you feel it's a necessary evil, put a 2. If you rather get your teeth pulled out or do 100 burpees, put a 3. Marlise, can you please look at all the comments to see how they come in? Let's give them a minute or so to look at that. You're muted, Marlise.
Oh, thank you for telling me. That's like the phrase of the year. You're muted.
No worries.
Joshua says burpees too.
Oh, he likes burpees instead, huh?
Does he or doesn't?
Maybe he's choosing his heart.
Choose your hard burpees. That's exactly what my daughter's sore from right now, and she does not want to go to practice. Choose your hard. We got lots of 1s and 2s. Only one 3, 2 3s.
Okay.
2, 2.5.
Okay.
Burpees are good for you. Yeah, Joshua chooses his hard. Not if you have scoliosis, so I'll give you that, Josh. Not for me. Awesome. All right, so it seems like we've got a lot of people on all spectrums, mostly on the 1s and 2s. So I think people are ready to set some goals.
Good, perfect. So well, even though many people set New Year's goals and resolutions, if you don't really know, like a small percentage actually follow through with the goals. A Harvard study suggests that 83% of the U.S. population do not have goals, and 14% have a plan in mind, but the goals are not written. And unwritten goals are just dreams, right? And 3% have goals that write them down. So the study again also says that people with written goals are 50% more likely to achieve them than people without goals. And here's another, really gloomy, statistic. 92% of New Year's goals fail by January the 15th. So in about 8 days, 92% will fail.
So I'm guessing everyone needs to pull out their sticky pads and post goals all over the house, right?
Yes, yes.
That's what we have to do. Everyone get sticky notes, and your magic marker, and write every goal possible and stick it everywhere.
Yes, you have the highest chance of getting it if you write it down and get it out of your head. All right, so moving on to the next one. So without clarity on our purpose and goals, knowledge of the steps that it will take to achieve them, and measurable way to track goal progress, it is very difficult to know whether or not you're winning. So goals and priorities work together, and the main reason for having them is simply to be appropriate in the moments of our lives that matter the most. So goal setting. clarity and focus. Focusing on your goals means taking attention away from something else. So you definitely have to choose, like you were saying earlier, you have to choose your heart. And it's imperative that we are clear on which goals and which areas of our lives are seeking to improve. Because I mean, we have all these different areas. When we can't do it all, we have to choose which is the one that will make the most impact. So we have more than one area, like I said, that we need to improve. So the best thing to do is to have fewer goals, because the fewer goals that we set, it's easier to achieve. We can't do it all at once, but we can start with the most important. So that takes me to the 7 circles. I don't know if you guys have seen similar things in different books. A lot of development books have 5 areas of your life, 8 areas, 10 areas, 12 areas. Well, this is from the One Thing book, and the One Thing book has 7 circles. The 7 circles are spirituality, physical health, personal health, key relationships, job, business, and finances. And I want to ask you to do another little activity. If you could please write down all these 7 areas and rate yourself 1 to 10 in each area. 1 being needs a lot of help, and 10, I'm totally dialed in. Let's give them 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes to do this, because this one will take a little bit more.
Yes, I've got my paper here. I'm writing my circles. So 7 circles.
7 circles. And then as you guys are going through it, let me go a little bit through all the 7 pieces. So the spiritual part is every one of us is going to wonder, why are we here? What's our purpose? What do we do in our lives? The physical health is more about exercise. If you don't have your body, then where are you going to live, right? The personal life is more about the things that you can be, like the best version of yourself. If you want to learn a sport, learn how to play an instrument. Key relationships or family, friends, colleagues, mentors. The job is your specific responsibilities that you have in your role, in your job, or in the company that you're in. So even if you're a business owner, you still have a job in the business. And then the business, for that one, is the things that matter the most to the business overall. And then finances, that's basically self-explanatory, your personal finances, building wealth, charity, etc. Yeah, so that, anything coming in, Marlies?
I think everyone's writing.
Okay, they're still writing now. I totally get it. And I'm going fast. This presentation can definitely take 2-3 hours to really do. I'm just going through all the main points. So if you wanna do this later on as well and do it better, you can. This is only 2-3 minutes. It's really hard to do it all.
I know how to work on my finances the most. Oh, Jackie. Sorry, Jackie, I just now saw you.
And also, while you're at it, the next thing that we want to do is identify what it would take based upon the scores that you're giving yourself for all the 7 areas to move up to the next level in each area. Some are going to be easier than others, but if you could do that, and then basically, so for example, if you gave yourself a 4 in physical health, what would it take to be a 5?
Okay, for those of you that just popped in, we're just making circles and rating ourselves from 1 to 10, 1 needing the most work and 10 feeling like you've really done well. And then if you do give yourself a certain score, what could make it go up a notch? Personally, I feel like my spiritual, my personal, and my physical are the strongest. I
Okay.
may not be the skinniest, but I do feel healthy. Whereas I feel like I could do better on my business and my finances and my job, which is also my business. Because I've never done it before. All right, sounds like we've got so many types of answers.
I'm sure.
And for those of you watching on the replay, make sure that you do your circles and really rate yourself. It's really good for introspection.
It is. I mean, like you want to look at everything that that you've done, in the past. What are some trends? I mean, you have to learn from the past, so then you can apply it to the future. So this is a really great exercise to get you going before you actually start planning. How's it going?
It's going really well. Seems like finances, a lot of people are worried about finances. I think we have COVID to blame for that. And just adulting is hard. Adulting is hard. I still haven't figured out taxes for my business. So
Is that, would you say that's one of the top ones, finances?
yeah, just trying to understand business finances, I think is the hardest.
Okay.
And thankfully I have a great group of people I have access to help me with that. Yes, there are great coaches that help with money blocks. Katrin. That's true. I worked with Jen yesterday or last month, and she helped me get my biggest month for my job / business. So Scentsy parties would be your business, Rissa, for sure. Okay, I think we're ready to go.
Excellent. So yeah, move to the next slide. So now that you've looked at all the 7 areas and you looked at the ratings and and now you understand what it will take for you to move from a 5 to a 6, for example. Look at all the improvements and identify which of the 7 areas will make the biggest impact in your life. And to help you with that, use the clarifying question, what is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? So that is your one thing. That's the one that you want to focus on as far as your goal. So I'm sure like now, like, you said finances, I wonder what everyone's picking as far as like the one that will make the biggest impact in their lives. And then again, like, it's not to say that you're going to ignore the other 6 areas, but it just means priority wise, this is the one that's going to be front center.
I think everyone is so different on this group.
Everyone
It's
is.
really nice.
How about you, Marlies? What is the area that would make the biggest impact for you?
I think identifying the difference between my job and my business, because I'm an entrepreneur, and dedicating those tasks to run the business as an owner, as well as like a leader for my team. So delegating those like minute tasks in between it. So obviously planning my day and things like that, I really need to work on, and then tracking all of everyone else's productivity. So there's like a lot of details that go into that I'm just now understanding, and I'm going to start tracking.
Okay. So that would be the most impactful out of the 7. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think because spiritually I feel really, really strong. My personal relationships are strong
My
as
daughter's
well.
having medical issues with her eyes for months.
It's really the medical. It's whoever the L name is.
Landon, my son Landon.
Yeah, it's him then, because they're saying he's at like a crossroads. He's trying to figure things.
I think someone's doing a reading. Hi, Claire. I'm going to mute you, but thank you for jumping on.
Excellent. So what does it look like? We're getting some feedback as far as what are some top impactful ones?
Yeah, time management, I think business for most people. I think that's why most of the people are on here is finance,
Okay.
business, and time management. I think that goes around with like business, job, and maybe even personal life. Time management, if you're not good in your time management for your business or your job, it's going to bleed over in your life. If your time management in your life isn't good, it's going to bleed over into your job. So hopefully we can learn some things that'll help us put some goals on paper so that we can balance those things.
Definitely.
Okay,
Good. Just let me know whenever you want me to keep going.
I think we're ready.
Excellent. All right.
And
So
make sure you guys can go back and watch this again. I'm recording it.
all right. So keep that in mind as far as like, which area is the one that's the most impactful. And so once you've identified your one thing, let's focus on what the future looks like. First, we go big, then we go small. So picture what your level 10 would look like in your life. So the one that you picked, the one that's the most impactful in your life right now, picture what a level 10 would be for that. So you don't have to know exactly when this will happen. It can be, but it has to be definitely like, 5+ years. It could be 10, 15, 20 years into the future. We'll call this your someday goal. But if you can put a date to it, that's fine as well. Make sure you're very clear about what you're saying no to, and also that the goal that you're setting is truly meaningful and also tied to your big purpose in your life, which it should be, because this is the one that you picked that would be the most impactful. So picture that 10 plus rating that you would get, and then what that would look like. And when you're ready, I can move on to the next one. Just let me know.
And maybe use some feelings, like what would that feel like to you? What would your day look like when you've maximized and
Right.
goals?
Like visualize it, like, who's around you? What do you smell? What do you see? Like all your senses, what does that really feel like and look like? What does success look like with that as a number 10?
Yes. Stephanie, I have a feeling your visualization is going to be very impactful. Remember, go back to when you were small child and you used to daydream all day. We probably don't even remember what that was like because we don't daydream anymore as adults. But like try to daydream really hard and almost be ridiculous with your daydream. And then that is what you need to write on paper. As silly as it seems, you'd be shocked when I've gone back and looked at some of my visualizations and I'm like, they sounded so crazy when I wrote them down and most of it came true. So don't feel like you have to be bound by anything, you guys. You'd be
Yes.
surprised by the magic that exists all around you. And when I say magic, I'm not talking about witchcraft. I'm talking about energy, magic.
Yeah,
Jonathan,
no limit. Because you really need to be excited about that goal. If it's something that it doesn't excite you, then that's not really a goal.
yes, Jonathan knows what I'm talking about. If y'all need help with meditation visualization, contact Jonathan for sure. She's so good at spiritual and personal for sure.
Well, perfect. As you guys are finishing, with that, again, so about SMART goals, these goals that we're looking at, the number 10 rating for the one that would be the most impactful. As you're thinking of these goals, think of what it would feel like, all your 5 senses, what would that look like? But also they have to be SMART goals. Like they have to be very specific. They have to be measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Like we can't just say, I will lose weight. Like I'm just giving an example for let's say this year, 2021. You need to say on December 31st, 2021, I will weigh 190 pounds. Again, for example purposes. I'm sure you guys have other goals. This is not your goal. I'm just giving an example.
Katrin says SMART goal was not written with women in mind. What do you mean by that, Katrin? Katrin, you're gonna have to unmute yourself and explain that.
Again, just an
Well,
example.
probably for many of the women that are in here, that means that their weight's going to increase.
I know if we keep staying on lockdown, I don't know how many bottles of wine I'm going to consume. All right, so if you guys are bold enough, go ahead and put down your SMART goal. Who has a SMART goal that's very specific? On December 31st, 2021, I will weigh 190 pounds. What is your goal? I'm going to write my goal.
Yeah, what is that specific goal that you're shooting for for the year? And then again, like since we're talking about the someday goal, I mean you can keep it like, what's that someday goal look like? You don't have to take it to the 1 year. This is the 1 year. If you want, you can do that as well. We're gonna go through it later on in the presentation, but right now, like you can keep it someday right
Oh, Lori, I like that one. I think you can make that one earlier.
now.
Michelle, you have to make it relevant and timely. When are you going to be able to run that half marathon? Set a date. Let's put dates down, you guys.
Yeah, dates and
Myself
numbers.
December 31st, because it's going to take a solid year for me to pay down my credit card debts that I racked up on Amazon and making Jeff Bezos even more rich.
Well, he's not the richest man in the world anymore. I mean, Elon Musk is now.
Well, Elon Musk is allowed to be the richest, I feel like. If he's going to put us in space and help us talk to aliens, then we're all good. There we go. Oh, look at all these.
We have some goals.
We have some goals. Anne
Excellent.
wants to promote to director in her business. Stacy also wants to look at all these people who want to promote to directors. I see all of my peeps here.
Excellent.
I love this. We're going to see a lot of directors this year. This is making me so exciting. Like, let's raise your hands. How many Apple Watches are we going to have this year? Ooh, on December 31st, Katrin is going to have 6 business partners. Yes, you are, girl. Master director. Yes. She's going to make a certain amount per month, Stephanie says. She's going to promote. She's going to make that money.
Excellent. Does she have a specific amount? Because like that also helps. I mean, again, be very specific. It helps achieving.
She's
it.
going to write it. She says she has that amount written down. Probably not.
Right, it can be private. Right.
Janaki has a really good message to everyone. Important when setting goals and allowing them to happen is love yourself first where you already are and see your future projection of you now. I love that. I'm going to say that again. Important when setting goals and allowing them to happen is love yourself first where you already are. So first you have to love yourself.
Yes.
That might be hard for us to think about right now. Love yourself where you already are and see your future projection of where you are now. So like that dream person, however you see yourself. I mean, if you have butterfly wings, like let it be butterfly wings. I see myself naked in a field right by a river. I'm completely free of debt. I'm free of all the bounds of the world. I have full peace with myself and my health and my well-being. That's what I see. Am I really going to be running around naked? Probably not. But that's what I'm envisioning.
Yeah, because the real thing is like that to accomplish these goals, it's the person that you need to become to accomplish these goals. The byproduct of that is reaching your goals.
And the reason I'm naked is because I am trying to establish minimalism. And it's very hard when my favorite color is glitter. So it's sparkle. We'll say sparkle. My husband will kill me if I bring glitter into this house. He hates me from our Christmas trees. I bought glitter Christmas trees and he took them down today and wants to murder me, I think. Pandemic pounds gone by April 1st. 15 pounds or less, Jackie? Yes.
Okay.
Melinda's going to be debt-free by December 31st. Yes, you are, girl. Rissa's going to sell a lot of CBD. Rissa, you got to put a number down. We got a number and a date. Wow, Heather wants to sold $15 million in real estate sales by June 30th. Damn, girl, if you do that, we're going to party.
Good. Really aggressive goals.
We've got some really good. Oh, listen to this. Stephanie has a visualization. She's having coffee with her hubs in Italy, watching her kids play in a fountain. We just left a mission feeding, clothing, and building homes for people, and now we're having a family vacay. I personally flew us there on our private jet.
Oh, amazing.
Snaps for that visualization, Stephanie. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about.
Does it have a date, or is that the someday goal, or does it have a date?
What date is that, Stephanie? Let's put a date on that because that's beautiful. Melinda's
Or,
still.
or it could be someday,
It's going to be Sunday.
because it's hard, that's a bigger one.
That's a big one. Melinda's still waiting for Alexa to take down her Christmas tree. We're going to probably have to put some measurable. When is that achievable? Maybe that's probably not achievable. Rissa's saying 100 bottles. Okay, that is a good amount. That is my someday goal. 5 years. She's got it 5 years. Write the date down. Write the date. Stephanie's got it. That's a good one.
Good. We have some 5 years, some days, 1 year, a little bit of everything.
Janaki has one for January 31st of this year. She wants 4 to 5 couples signed up for her Empowered Partnership and Conscious Family Coaching course by January 31st, paid in full before, is it January 31st of next year? But paid in full by February 5th.
Okay.
That's a fast one. Yes. Oh, this year. Okay. Oh, Courtney says, thank you for your husband's service. Heather's going to have her horse barn and pool done by May 2022. Yes, girl. Can we put the horses in the pool and ride them? Okay. Okay, let's move on. These are really good.
Perfect.
Guys, I'm so excited. We're making good goals. These are smart.
Yes, definitely. So before we move on, I know we're spending a lot of time on this goal setting, and it requires a lot of time. And even after this, like I said, it may require more hours of you thinking about this. Just remember this: every minute that you spend in planning saves 10 minutes in execution. This gives you 1,000% return on your energy. This is a Brian Tracy quote.
Okay, say that again.
Every minute that you spend in planning saves 10 minutes in execution. So this gives you 1,000% return on your energy. So remember that. So planning is very important for this. It's not something that you can just go and do. All right. So this is so over here on this page. I have a graphic that's showing you the goal setting to the now. So the whole idea is to focus on incremental achievements to achieve your someday goal. So first, we determined that where you need to be in the next 5 years to be on track for achieving your someday goal. Another way of saying that would be, based on my someday goal, what is the one thing I can do in the next 5 years so I'm on track to achieve it? Then we'll repeat the process to get clear on your 1 year goal, then do that for the 1 month, then for the week, then for the daily goal, and then finally for right now. So what should you be doing right now to be on track for that, that ultimate someday goal, to like the Italy trip? So connecting the one goal to the next, you want to think big, but you want to go small as well. So that brings me to the tool that I'll be sharing after this presentation, the GPS. The GPS stands for goal, priority, and strategy. The goal is, choosing your big goal, your one thing. The priority is identifying 3 priorities which will achieve your goal. And then the strategy is finding 3 to 5 strategies for handling your priorities. It's a tool that really brings everything home for all of this, and I'll be going through it a little bit in detail on this next sheet. So accomplishing your goals. Once you want to set the priorities which will lead to your goals completion. So for example, going back to the example that I used before, on December 31st, 2021, I will weigh 190 pounds. So for this goal, these are the priorities: eat healthy, exercise, and accountability. So you want to do this same exercise for the goal that you have. But for this, so again, make sure that you're remembering what your someday goal is. And then the someday goal after that is the 5-year goal, and then the 1 year goal. So this is going into the 1 year goal. What do you want to do, like as far as priorities for that 1 year goal? I'll give you, another minute or two to do that as well. So at the end, you'll have something that's very, a nice draft, completed version that you can keep on revising. And any questions on this, please also use the chat box to ask any questions if you're unclear.
Yeah, so those of you guys that posted your goals, your specific goals, go ahead and maybe type in some priorities. And I was just thinking, I actually want to get down to my pre-baby weight before my birthday, because I'll be much closer to 40. So I will weigh 145 pounds and be a size 4'6", because I want to get fit into my wedding dress again, and I will be strong. And so my priorities are to eat well, be healthy, no dairy, not a lot of gluten, not a lot of alcohol. I'm going to be moving every day. I'm going to exercise every day or do some sort of movement every day and be happy about it. And then number 3 is I'm going to find an accountability partner, someone who can help me meet my goals.
Excellent.
I love that one because it's so hard to do things by yourself. Hopefully my husband can be my accountability partner, but we haven't been very accountable for 7 days. So we have been eating healthy. So write those down, put them in the chat box. We are writing down our priorities. Yes,
Priorities,
strategy.
Right. For the 1 year goal.
For the 1 year goal, not your big goals, but your 1 year goal, we're writing down our priorities, which is the P and GPS, S is strategy. So that's going to be the next thing we do here. So write down. Oh, Courtney, I'll be your accountability for fitness nutrition if you're mine for business. Okay, Courtney, we'll do it. So give yourself 2 or 3 priorities, maybe more.
Yeah, and it can be more. It could be, but also you want to keep it, you don't want to keep it too long because, they are priorities. And the less is more.
I'm going to write down have fun as a priority. And number 5, I'm going to write down celebrate successes.
That's good.
That has got to be a priority. Remember, Janaki said to love yourself where you're at. So every time I'm at a new place, I'm going to love that even more. Heather said she's going to reach out to past clients, work on social media, and network more to reach her goal. Those are her priorities.
Good.
Melinda's going to do her new job. Oh, I lost it. She's going to schedule time for her business networking and free time for family. I don't remember what your goal was, but those are all good things.
That's good. Excellent.
Janaki, you can live in your someday goal all day long. I think I'm going to.
And then
Oh, my
also,
husband, I was like, is there an island that has both a beach and then like mountain range right behind? Because he wants to live in the mountains and I want to live on the beach. So like, we've got to figure this out. I think only the big island in Hawaii has all of the 4 climates, right? 5 climates.
I think so. Vancouver's pretty close because it has mountains behind it. It's like by the water as well.
Yeah, that water is cold as heck.
Yeah, right.
Hail to the no, Oliver.
Choose your heart.
Choose your hard. Well, that's true. Jeff and I have talked about Vancouver. Okay, Jackie says, finally getting off the effing elliptical, screaming in my great room. No chips of any kind. Move around more than the office to the coffee pot. Those are priorities, and those are real priorities.
Yeah.
Lake Tahoe does have mountains and a beach. You're right, Joanne, and I do love Lake Tahoe. But the part of Lake Tahoe I like is in California, and California needs to get their finances together. Complete my music album and complete my book. Yes, that's your year goal. That is I love that one. I hope I can help you with it, Janaki. I'll be a part of your spiritual and personal circle. These are so good.
That's good.
You guys are awesome.
I'm glad we're getting all this engagement.
We are.
Good.
Now I want to go to Lake Tahoe, Joanne. Thanks a lot. Ooh, Courtney has a good one. Number 1, time block. Number 2, write it out the night before. Yes. Number 3, don't negotiate with my list. Number 4, celebrate wins. 5, consistency with social tasks. And 6, team meetings and follow. Those are really good.
These are good.
So good.
Yeah.
Jackie, I muted you. Writing out your plans the night before helps you sleep. That is one thing that I talked to with my therapist back before I got into the business I'm in now. I had a lot of trouble sleeping, and she was like, "What keeps you up at night?" And I said, "Thinking about all the things I have to do the next day." And she goes, "Why don't you just write them down 1 or 2 times right
Yeah.
before you go to bed?" And it helped me unload on a piece of paper. I really encourage you guys to get some sort of planner, or look at your phone and look at your calendar and kind of walk yourself through your day and imagine your day the next day. And that really helps you kind of settle your heart and your mind before you fall asleep.
Yes. Or after the workday, like, right after you finish, like, so you have everything fresh in your head.
Yes.
Brainstorm everything that's on your head. Just put it on paper so it can get off your head.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely plan it at the end of the day and then relook at it before you go to bed, just so, well, at least I have to do that just so I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Cause sometimes
Yes.
I'm like, what am I doing again? How many things?
It helps. It helps.
Elaine says 10,000 steps a day, drink a gallon of water a day, avoid sugar and flour. Good luck. I ate a candy today. And I celebrated that candy because it was organic and it was made with stevia, I think. Probably not. Maybe I'm lying to myself. Johnny has a really good takeaway again. Writing down your fears helps take the power away from your fears. And then she says she likes to burn them in the fire. Very powerful for moving energy when you feel stuck or experiencing fear.
Yes.
That is a good one. After this, you guys, if there's something that you have fearful, I want you to write it down and burn it up, but just don't burn your house down, please. If you try to come up with me with a liability claim, I'll say I never said it. Yeah, write those fears down and burn them up. Okay, this is so good.
Great.
Janaki is a very wonderful person. You guys should get to know her. Okay, let's go. Moving on. Let's find a strategy to make these things happen, you guys.
All right, moving on. So the next one is like, finding 3 to 5 strategies for that priority, for handling your priorities. So like basically, for going back to the example of exercise, these would be some strategies like signing up for the gym membership and going 3 times a week, going for a bike ride 3 times a week, going for a hike, doing yoga, signing up for a bike race. All these different ways that will basically help you get your goal of losing weight, and then with the priority of exercise. So what you want to do is, like, if you have, let's say, 2 to 3 priorities, you want to do this same strategy, like session, for each one. So each one can be, like 3 to 5.
Okay, so I'm going to give an example.
Yeah, so
I wrote down.
time.
So I wrote down my priority is eating well for my year goal or my birthday goal of getting to my pre-baby weight. And so one of the things that I put as a strategy was to buy more cookbooks and get more experimental with food that's healthy and colorful, which I've already started. I bought 3 today on Amazon, of course. So I'm really excited about meal planning too. So I wrote down meal planning.
That's good. Saves time too.
Sure does.
Yes.
And you can argue as a family on Sunday. This is a democracy. Okay, let's see. HelloFresh is my family's new best friend. I just love cooking so much, and I love the preparing part of it. Courtney says, I'm falling short here. LOL. I don't know why. Courtney, you had your 5 priorities. You had a lot of I think some of your priorities were goals. So maybe streamline your priorities a little bit so that your strategies are a little bit easier. I think you gave us 5 goals maybe. So maybe time management is your goal.
Right. And also too,
your priorities, then like your time, like you put time glow right out the night before, like maybe that's part of time management together. And then those other things can be maybe more personal.
Right. And as you're going down with this, make sure that you use the strategy of the 80-20. Basically that a small percentage of your activities are going to get you the most results. So when you're thinking of like, what's my best strategy to reach this goal, or what's the best priority to reach my goal, you want to go for the one that will have the biggest impact with the least amount of effort.
Yes. Revenue-based activities or goal completing activities. Think of your revenue as your goal weight. Every pound that's dropping is a revenue.
Yeah, and as we're doing this too, like I can go to the next slide, and this is basically an example for a business. It's a completed GPS for a business. So
Oh, this is a good one, you guys.
yeah, you can
Screenshot
see.
this.
So then you could see like, increase division profit by 10%. This is what I need to do. Since this is a business, they're basically assigning all these different priorities to different employees.
Okay, so I'm going to read these out for you guys because I think there's some questions on the priorities versus strategy. So for this client, she said her one thing for the year was to increase division profit by 10% for her company. So she wanted to increase by 10%. Her first priority was to increase customer retention by 10%, because obviously that would go back to her profit. So her first strategy was to meet face-to-face with the top 20% customers, then conduct a survey of past customers over the past 12 months to identify the reason, I'm guessing, that they left maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Create an executive new retention strategy based on survey results. So planning after the results have been done, establish a model to review retention metrics. So yes, the strategy is going to be very, very, very specific. So your goal is a general, I want to lose weight. Your priority is the things that are going to get you to that goal. And the strategy is going to be very specific and measurable tasks that you can do to help the priority reach the goal.
And definitely with a date, you definitely want to be able to measure it.
Yeah.
And in this case, assign it to different people if you have a team.
Right. So this is for a team. So Cheryl's got some stuff to do, Linda and Mark, but go ahead and make sure that you assign, maybe there's an issue going on in your family life that you're trying to prioritize some things. And so maybe you need to strategize with some of the family members or some of your team members. So let's say your one thing for the year is to increase your team sales by 50%, right? What is your first priority? Let's say it's making sure that you're doing team meetings. So maybe your first strategy is to sit down with some of your team and find out dates to start planning meetings, right? And then you can create more strategies like take more time. Maybe one of your priorities is take more time to build leaders on your team. And so maybe a strategy would be to find out what their goals and whys are. So you just have to kind of like, what I call it, and when I was in the business of recruiting, which I was actually a professional recruiter, was when we'd have to explain to our clients what we were looking for, and sometimes the cost of things, we would dumb it down to the ridiculous. So instead of the customer saying it's going to cost you $25,000 to find this really important person, you're going to, I used to take it down to the hour that it takes for them to search for someone on themselves. How much do you make, sir? And how much does 1 hour cost you? And how much time have you taken to find this person? That time equates a lot of money. That is why you hire an executive recruiter to do this. So sometimes if you think about it that way, dumb it down to the ridiculous, maybe even take it further than you even want to. Be so specific. And then
also remember another thing too, that when you're doing your priorities, that your first priority should be so good that it should be enough or close to enough to basically completing your goal. It needs to be that good. And then once you finish that one, if there's more, you do it number 2, number 3. But the number 1, I mean, just like the name, it should be a real priority that it can basically do it all, or do at least 80% of the lifting.
Yes, Jackie says, so basically keep drilling down at each level of the process with more specific actions and numbers.
Yes.
Patrick would like you to repeat that one more time that you just said, Oliver. Do you remember?
Yes. So for the priorities, you want the priority to be so good that it could accomplish the goal by itself or most of it. So if it's like, doing like, 80% of the lifting, So you only need 20% from the other ones. So it has to be that good that it can do basically the whole thing. So that's why you don't want like 10 priorities, because it defeats the purpose of the name of priority. It should be like 2, 3, I would say at the most.
Yes.
And then also remember, like, one big reason people don't achieve their goals is because they haven't connected today to all the tomorrows that will take to get there to that someday goal. So this simple tool solves that problem, because basically you can get down to that small little step and then go all the way up, all the way to the someday goal. You can connect the whole thing.
Courtney asks, should she break down increasing team sales and personal sales separately or combine them?
Separately.
And why is that, Oliver? I have a feeling I know the answer, but will you explain it?
Why you want to do that? Because like different people are responsible for it. So I mean, if you're going to do team sales or a personal one, I mean, it's going to go up to that team sales anyway. So you want to be very specific on what the roles are. So this is for a team, correct?
Yeah, so you probably want to make your first priority your team sales.
Right, like the priority would be, correct.
Knowing that you're always, right, a good leader leads from the front. So a good leader also has good personal sales. So you always want to know, always be working on your personal sales. But if your personal sales are large, it's also going to be indicative of your team sales. So, but if you feel like you can't control your team that well, or maybe that's farther on the back burner, maybe focus on your personal sales, because typically in any sales organization, so we're going to just say broadly, any sales organization, commissions are higher on personal sales than they are on team sales. So where can you get the most profit, right? What are the things you can control first? So like Oliver said before, what is going to make you money first? So revenue driving activities, you can control yourself, work on the priorities of yourself, focus on yourself and your responsibilities, and be a good leader from the front. Your team sales can also be your secondary priority.
Right. And then your team has to be aligned with what that overall team goal is. Because if they're just doing their own thing, it's not going to work.
Yes, and make sure that you're communicating with them, because there's so many people that say, well, my team's not doing anything, or they don't know that we have this specific goal. And I said, do you tell them consistently what the goal is? When everyone feels like they're part of the overall goal and it's very exciting and everyone's getting helped at the same time, it becomes more successful. So make sure you're actually communicating it. You're writing it down first, and you're communicating it and sending it out to all of your leaders and the people on your team.
Exactly. Like and strategies like this, I mean, workshops, I mean, teams do this for hours. It can take days or even weeks to get something like this big. This is a little bit more complicated because it's a team, but when it's like your personal, or if you're a solopreneur, it's much easier because it's only you. And then, so finally, the last step, like you were saying, Marlise, is like to write down your goals. And we're going to be providing the GPS template. So you can insert that in and you can print it out. But also, like you said before too, that's not the last step to write down your goals. The last step is finding an accountability partner that will keep you accountable to the goals. Because then once you have that, then you have it all. You have the plan, you have it written down, and then you have somebody that on a daily, weekly basis will make sure that you get there. And then that's the key for everything, because I mean, if you don't have the accountability partner, then basically you just make all these excuses for yourself. I had a hard week. I had a hard day. Like, I'm not gonna get up. I'm tired. I'm sick. But when you have the accountability partner, then you don't want to disappoint that person. So the best thing would be to get somebody that's not your friend or a family member, because like then
I was about to say, not your husband or wife.
right, because then they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you had a hard day, it's okay, you didn't have to do that goal today. So I mean, it's if you don't have one, I mean, sure, I mean any person would be best than no one, but if you can, let it not be like somebody that's too close to you. And
those of you that are watching that are in direct sales, this is why recruiting is very important to your business, because those people automatically can be your accountability partners. And it's so much more fun when you're both going for the same goal, you're on the same team, or maybe you're in, different teams, but you're still trying to accomplish the same thing. And so it makes it a little bit easier for you guys to do strategies together and planning sessions. So I do really encourage you that if you don't have a team or you don't have an accountability partner, just to put that as a goal. Find someone to do this business with. It's much harder to be an entrepreneur on your own than to have a business partner. Or at least have people supporting you. So if your aunt wants to be your accountability partner, it's okay.
Yes, it's a start, right? Hello, are we getting any more comments or any more feedback?
Yes. So Michelle says, I have some morning people on my team and we started morning chats 2 days a week at 6:30 a.m. before work starts. I love that.
Excellent.
Yeah, having accountability is great. I have an accountability partner every Wednesday at 9 a.m. It's actually open to anybody in our company. And we sometimes just talk about motivation, our wins and losses, and how we can help each other. And sometimes we just vent to each other if we've had a hard week. It's probably better to vent to each other than to our family members. Elaine says, your first priority should be good, and that should get you at 80% of your goal. Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Okay, how many of you guys, let's say yes or no, Y or N, do you have an accountability partner, yes or no? I'd love to see how many people actually do this. Lots of people have accountability partners. This is awesome.
That's good. That's good.
Lots of Ys.
Well, you're gonna make it then.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see all these Ys.
That's great.
Those of you that have Ns, start thinking, right? Maybe write some names down of people that you would like to have your accountability partner. Have it be someone who is easily accessible, who has time for you as well. We have someone waiting in the waiting room, who has time for you and maybe is already close to you. That way that they can say the hard truths.
You need that, and then let it be like at least on a weekly basis. Doesn't have to be daily.
Weekly basis for sure. And if you don't have an accountability partner, find an accountability group. I think everyone that said no can have access to an accountability group. So we'll make sure that you guys get plugged in. Yay. Okay. Almost everyone said yes. So this is fantastic. So now I want you guys to, okay, Stacy, I'll help you. Heather, for sure. I want you guys to think of talking to your accountability partner about your goal. Is that the next thing we talk about, Oliver? I don't even know.
Well, actually, no. I mean, this is the end of the GPS, because
okay.
That the worksheet that I'll be sharing, there's another tab where you have the goals breaking into GPS, but then you have the per month, per week, and per day. But I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, but that's the next step. But we don't have it here.
Awesome. So those of you guys that do have an accountability partner, since we just talked about that, I want you guys as a challenge to go and tell your accountability partner what your goal is, whether your accountability is personal or professional. I don't care if they're personal or professional. If they are professional and your goal is personal, tell them so that they can hold you accountable and say, I want you to check in on how I'm doing next week. Every week, I want you to ask me, and maybe even put it on your calendar. Time for my check-in. Like if you're weight loss, you're on The Biggest Loser now. We're going to have to weigh you in on Mondays.
Yeah.
So ask them to be your accountability partner. I think people really sometimes love this, to have the acceptance of helping you to be accountable. So go share those goals.
Yes. So, I mean, on that topic, for the next steps, create your GPS, which, I'll be sharing the worksheet. Break down the month down to the week using the 411, which will be in the worksheet. Then, like you were saying, getting a system of accountability. Pick that person that's going to be helping you out on a weekly basis. and then check in your goals routinely at least once a week, and then time block your one thing, which is the activity that will basically meet your weekly, monthly, and yearly. So on that, that's the conclusion for that. So like any actionable takeaways, any questions, any ahas or anything big, again, please share your feedback or any questions, anything that wasn't explained.
Yes. So you guys, anything that you're taking away from this, an aha moment, again, if you have any questions, you guys know how to contact me because you're in the event tab. Yes, you do a separate GPS for every goal. So you have your goal, your priority, and your strategy. So each goal that you have, go ahead and do that exercise. Again, we're going to have the PDF posted in the event. I'm so happy about this too, because you guys might think, oh, Marlise knows what she's doing. Well, I'm like the world's greatest procrastinator, and I will like be really good about planning for like 4 days, and then for 3 days I screw around. So, and I haven't been great with goal planning either. So this is going to be huge for me. I know it. I know it's going to be huge for you guys.
Yeah. So for your takeaways, like basically write down at least one action that you're going to do right after this. You know, definitely write it down, because like if you don't, then it's going to be an afterthought, and you're going to forget about it. You're going to go have dinner, and you're going to be like, oh, that was a great presentation, but like I didn't like really write anything down. Like you really need to write it down, because you need to do it.
So I'm going to give you guys, some of you have been trained by a woman named Jenny Bird, who is in Green Compass. She's a life and business coach. And she talks about the actual neurological connection that happens in your brain when you write, not when you type, but when you write. Something about your personal handwriting and the power to the pen. So if you're not actually writing it with your own handwriting, please start doing that. You'd be so surprised of how much of an impact it makes when you look at your own handwriting and saying, I'm going to lose 15 pounds. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be debt free. I'm going to build my business to 100 people. Make sure that you do that, because it is literally a neurological bind that happens. And for those of you brain nerds, it's very, very important. Johnny also says it's important that you make an agreement for you and only you. It is an agreement for you and your higher self. If you do it for anyone else besides you, you won't follow through. Thank you for saying that, Johnny. If your goal is for anyone else but you, then it is not your goal.
Yes.
Make sure these are goals for you and specifically only you. We have so many takeaways. Can I walk through these? Because I really think they're amazing. And
Sure,
I don't think the chat shows up on the recording. So Courtney says, thank you so much. This is so helpful. Just realizing how to break every step down. Michelle says, this is an awesome roadmap. So much easier to visualize. Anne says it's important to write down and be specific. Katrin says this is so helpful. I've made more progress on goal setting in this 1 hour than she has in the last 3 years. That fellow BNI member, Katrin. Thank you, Katrin.
I'm happy to hear that.
Michelle says I spend too much time on planning, or she says, or I spend. Heather says, thank you. I've always needed to learn more and be reminded and motivated for the things I already know but have slacked on, right? We already know these things. Most of us do. We just got to do them.
Right.
This is a great lead into our vision board training tonight. Michelle, I'm so excited for that. And I love this. When the action, that is the action I will take. I have all mine typed. My one action will be written down on my whiteboard so I can see it daily. Yes. And I do sticky notes. So I have personal sticky notes on my, I need to do it again, on my personal mirror in my bathroom. It's not super chic, but who cares? I have my business goals on my computer, and I'm going to post some other ones around the house, like you do not need to eat that candy.
And here's another tip, like make sure that you look at your goals before you open your emails, before you look at your phone in the morning, before you do anything. So that way it's always top of mind. Before you start your day, just look at your goals. Read them, so that way your mind's going to be primed, to do that one thing for the day.
Katrin says this, does this count as a CEO? I think we can make that happen. And Heather says, visit the Dream Builders, Oliver. You guys need to find him on the app and invite him. And then Jackie needs a supersized sticky note to slap on her elliptical.
Wherever you can see it.
Wherever you can see it. I like mine on my mirror. I also write things like you are beautiful and you are strong. Sometimes we beat ourselves up, so maybe give yourself some reminders also. You can be your own accountability partner of beauty and love. Okay. Well, this was so much fun. Oliver.
That's amazing that everyone's getting it. So yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, again, I have my information. We'll send everything, all this information to everyone who attended. And just jot me in like a message or an email, anything, because like I know it's like, we had to go through it pretty fast. But if you have any questions about how to like finesse it, just let me know. I'd love to help.
And if you really truly feel like this is the moment for you to take the next step, finding a business coach is really, really important, you guys. And obviously, Oliver has just shown us what he's capable of in this amazing training. I took so much from this. And sometimes when you write down the investment, it might seem scary, but think about how much more that investment can quantify from there. And maybe that's your goal itself, is to invest in a business coach. So if that's your goal, if it's business related, get your first goals met, and then make your maximum goals be part of working with someone who can help transform your life. So thank you so much, Oliver.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, you guys, you have a wonderful evening. It was just so fabulous. I'm going to wait for this to finish processing, and we'll have this up on social media for you to view. Feel free to share with everyone. And I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful night. And we will see you soon.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.